hello everyone. Okay, I think, yeah, I can see a few familiar faces, but really a few familiar faces. Can we get more people, please? Can we share and like, and can we share to Russian? Can we share to, I think, Spanish? I think maybe we can share to America people, or we have from Indonesia. Okay, we are very, very, very international here, but I think we need more audience so that we can make our message more convincing to our audience. All right. Yeah, I can see Teacher Cat here. Hi. And I can see Daniel here. And the rest not on the camera yet, so I cannot say hi to you. Yeah, please, can you on the camera if you can? And let's share to more people. Okay. Do you want your message to be more convincing? I want my message to be more convincing. Oh, I think more people are logging in now. Yeah. And because we are very on time. Yeah, because our live stream start at 7:30. So we are very, very, very on time. And our two speakers are here already. So can we please ask more people to join in so that we can show our respect? Yeah, so as a very international group here, so firstly, I want to introduce myself. I'm Dorothy and from Singapore. So I'm a slash yours because slash yours means I have crossed a few industries. Yeah, so I have a bit of medical background and a bit of beauty grant and a bit of educational grant background. Sorry. Yeah. So with all these industries that I've crossed in, mm, maybe sometimes after I just changed my career from medical to beauty, my message may not become so convincing to the new audience, right? Because I changed my career and I changed my target audience, of course. Yeah. So what can I do? Right? This is our team today as well. So what can we do? I want to make my message to be more convincing. That means I want all my audience to trust me, to believe in me. But how about you? Do you have target audience? Can you bring your target audience to this class now? If you can, please. I think yeah, we can bring more people in. And yeah, I think this is the type one of the methods to plant the seeds as well. All right. Okay, yeah, so this is me. And for level 8, I would like to say that I wouldn't say level 8 changed my life because this is not my first DCI level. But it did give me some hints that, actually this is, I think level 8 was my first time to attend Gershie Michael's class that was online like maybe 2 years ago. To be very, very honest, that that time actually a lot of tools I couldn't really understand it, but it still make me plant the seeds of that so that I can understand more wisdoms from Gershie Michael, and I have more chances to attend his class personally, which is so valuable nowadays, right? Do you agree it? Can I see some? Thank you, Harvey. Yes, can I see some interaction from all of you here? Is it so valuable to meet Gershie Michael? Yeah, yeah, I saw a lot of hearts here. Yes, it's so valuable to see him. And he's for Singapore, right? He's coming to Singapore soon, which is so exciting. Yeah. Okay. So to plant the seeds to see him personally, I want you to share one more time to share to all of your friends, your community, because this is a purely free classes. And our speakers mostly are from SCM teachers. They are charging people outside, but they are giving it free here now. So don't wait. All right. Plant the seeds and ask your seed partners, ask your community friends, ask a lot of people come to join you. Okay. Yeah. So can we have the PPT? Yeah. So now I need to share more. So I need the PPT sharing. Okay, so welcome to our automatic leadership. This is the 5-way marathon series. I think most of you, or maybe all of you here, are very familiar with. Next page. Thanks to my IT person. Yeah, so we have 5 phase, I think, which is already introduced for a lot of times, and we have a few sessions until 30th of June. So when is Gershon Michael coming to Singapore? Please type in the group chat. I want to see all of you. All of you here are no, right? Yes, yes. 3rd to 5th July. Yeah. So he's coming to Singapore, and after that he will go to Malaysia. So I believe a lot of you here register for Malaysia event as well. Yeah. Next. Okay, so these are the 20 sessions. I think these free teachings are available as well as what I say. All the teachers here are giving free, like how they apply is life experiences. So if you have not listened to any sessions, it's free for you to re-listen to all the sessions. I think all uploaded to YouTube as well. Okay, next. Okay, so which come to our today's topic, how to make your message convincing, which I already mentioned just now. When I changed my career, I feel that it's very hard to make my message convincing to my new audience. So we come to this topic that we have two beautiful teachers here. So our speaker one today is teacher Marina. He's working in the field of politics since 2002. Wow, politics. She knows more about the convincing message, all right, because she's facing more to the public, and she's also from SCM teacher trainee, and she's also DCIG certified trainer. Yeah, so like what I say, she's giving us the free examples, like how we can use conventional methods and also steep methods to make our message convincing. Then we'll come to our speaker two, Latina. If I pronounce wrong, please let me know, okay? Yeah. So yeah, it's a beautiful teacher here as well. She is a DCI global organizer for Bulgaria, and 3 times SCM student. I think she's called SCM teacher trainee as well, and also she's from marketing and event manager. Yeah, so we have two teachers here. So today, message convincing, as what I mentioned just now, we have two parts. One part is that we have conventional methods, like uh, what we can think of. We also have seed methods, that how do we plant the seeds combined with conventional methods together to make our message convincing. And maybe let's think about how our audience want us to present. Maybe this is the part which is so important, that you think about your audience and you change the shoe. You put yourself into their shoes. You know what they want. This is part of the seeds as well. Uh, this is part of the seeds methods as well. So after that, we can relate it back to convincing message. Okay, so this is how I think of all this, and how I think of this tool can be used and applied in our daily life. So now, without further talking, yeah, so let's welcome our first speaker, teacher Marina. The floor is yours.
Thank you very much, dear Dorothy, for this inspirational and very energetic introduction. And thank you all of our wonderful participants who invest their precious time, attention, and effort into learning how to make their message convincing. And a bigger question, why at all do we need to make our message convincing? As Dorothy has already mentioned, indeed, I've been working in politics since 2002, and sometimes I wonder, how have I survived for so long? Because it is a very challenging, complicated, and sometimes I would even call it a little bit toxic environment. And of course, ancient wisdom, our great teachings, different practices, and all the incredible tools Sedona College of International Management and DCIG provide us with help me in doing that. And before I go any further, I would like to share one more fact about myself, which might help you understand why making a message convincing and becoming a great speaker is truly a skill everyone should master. I would think we need to start teaching it even at schools when our kids just learn to speak, learn to communicate, learn to express themselves, and learn to lead other kids, learn to say, hey, let's go play my game. No, my game. No, I want to do this and I want to do that. And I think it's really a good place for any human being to start their journey to leadership. Are you here because you want to be stronger leaders and speak more convincingly? Or not, or for some other reasons. Maybe you're just having a lunch break, I don't know. Here in London, where I'm talking to you from, it's around lunchtime, so people are going to have some lunch breaks and listening to our inspirational talks. So, coming back to speaking. Uh, Alongside with all my adventurous activities, I also was a Toastmasters. Have you ever heard of Toastmasters International? Show of hands, please. Yeah, thank you, Dorothy. Thank you, Kat. Thank you, Zian. Thank you. Yeah, that's a community, a huge one, that helps people build their leadership skills and develop their communication skills, talking to people competently and freely. And that's a secret, please don't tell anybody. I'm a distinguished Toastmaster, which is the highest thing in this community. And I once delivered a speech. I remember it was something about modern culture, something a little bit complicated, with many fancy words, with lots of staging, with a bit of direction. And at the end of the speech, everyone were applauding, everybody were cheering. And when I approached people after the meeting was over, I asked, did you enjoy, what do you think about my talk? And everybody said, wow, it was amazing. It was so beautiful. It was very nice, very professional. We haven't understood a thing. And that was the first bell for me. The first bell for me that probably something else is needed to be able to speak convincingly, clearly, and competently. Has any one of you taken any speaking classes, anything? What have you already tried doing to become a better speaker? Please don't forget we have our wonderful chat and share your ideas in the chat. Aha, Ivy, yes, voice projection, definitely. Especially when we are talking to a big rooms of people, just like the one that is gonna happen in July in Singapore, when hundreds of people are going to join DCI Level 8. I hope you will be among those happy and fortunate ones to get all these tools directly from Michael Roach himself, to be inspiring, magnetic, and convincing leader. Okay, let's run through. Yeah, I wish I could. I will be definitely joining at some point, Ivy. Thank you. Let's run through simple things we use when we want to become a convincing speaker. I have got a list of them because clearly any logical person would start with them. First, what am I speaking about? Knowing my topic, knowing my subject. If today we're discussing leadership, then I'd better be prepared to operate various leadership styles, leadership approaches, and goals of leadership. Anything else after I know my topic? What else do I need to be a convincing speaker? Some people, as Ivy has already mentioned, think that when they speak louder, people understand them better and they sound more convincing. Who of you has got kids? Has anyone? No, me and Zlatina. Okay, maybe you have got some other members of the family that when you talk to them and they seem to not quite understand what you want them, do you try speaking louder so that they could finally understand? Because I do it all the time. When my child doesn't understand, I speak louder and expect her to understand, thinking that probably a person doesn't understand because I'm not speaking loud enough. Have you ever noticed maybe your colleagues speak louder when they want to prove something to you and make you change your mind about something, or even members of our family? So, our material, knowing our content, what we're talking about, is one point we think when we want to be convincing. Our voice is one more thing that we tend to work on when we want to sound convincing. Anything else? What are other?
Good looking.
Aha, good looking. Yeah, I think appearance and professional style is very important because no matter what, people still have got their first impression from our looks. And if we look professionally and nicely, people might trust us better and might listen to us more attentively. What about this pace of our speech? Maybe if I talk too fast, then people would grasp the ideas quickly. Or maybe if I want them to really pay attention, I might start speaking slower and slower and finally just stop talking at all. How many times have you heard the jokes of Michael Roach that when you listen to some ideas and stories, if you have already heard them many times, you can take a nap, right? Specifically when he tells the pants story. He says, oh, if you have already heard it 1,000 times, do not worry, take a nap. You are about to hear it once again. By the way, type in the chat, roughly, how many times have you already heard the pants story? Let's check. Duck, less than 100. 100 with a question mark. Yeah, many. Thousands and thousands. That's easy. Yeah, I'm pretty sure most of us have already heard it at least once. So, again, I see in our chat that you also add hand gestures to speaking convincingly. Probably sometimes we try to support our message with our gestures. Does it help? Tell me how, from your experience, when you see a person flailing their arms and gesturing energetically, does it help you? Does it add to the convincing? Yeah, too much might be distracting, I agree, because it's difficult to follow both the sound and the visual of a person with two active gestures. Okay, let's summarize once again. When we want to be a convincing speaker, we first work with evident, with apparent things. Do I know my topic? Yes, good. How do I speak? Do I speak nicely and correct and properly? And can anyone in the audience hear me? Yes. Do I use my gestures moderately to support, to reinforce my message, not to block it with some unreasonable gestures? Do I look professional? Do I look like a DCI teacher? Or maybe do I look like a business person so that other business people in the room also relate and could establish rapport with me? Do I follow logical flow? Yes, is my idea developing logically? Do my audience follow it easily, or is it too difficult and confused, adding nothing? Question. Now that we have all this, I would call them formal signs of a good, convincing speaker. Can you for a second please think of a convincing, inspiring, great, maybe speaker? Have you got your own example of a great speaker you would like to follow? If so, please feel free to type in the chat. It's always inspiring to know which speakers are appealing to different people. Because when we were preparing for this talk with Latina, we thought, probably our audience will name some people we have never heard of. Because indeed, our participants are very international, and some people might be famous in some parts of the world. But let's think, maybe there is a universal example of a great speaker. Who could it be? Maybe some historical person, maybe some great great famous I don't know, compassionate leader. Yeah, I see. Yeah, thank you, Lee Kuan Yew. Even me, I'm very, very far from Indonesia, Malaysia, Asian hemisphere. I know this incredible person because indeed, great deeds transcend all the limitations and all the borders. Do you think, one more question, do you think a great speaker, a convincing speaker, is a great leader? Do you think these two qualities come together in a person, or not necessarily? Let's see. Yes, if so. No, if not. Thank you, Zine. Zlatina is not sure. Yeah, not necessarily. Thank you, Kat. One doesn't necessarily imply the other. Yeah, but let's twist the question. Does a true leader need to be a convincing speaker? How otherwise would they get all the children play their game in the playground? Impossible. If they cannot sparkle the inspiration, the energy, if they cannot stream and channel their ideas, if they cannot present their ideas in a convincing way, probably it will be quite challenging, if not impossible, to become a great leader. Yeah, I guess seed system teaches us to always look for some deeper reasons. That's definite. That's when things look too simple, we do not we become suspicious this very minute, because We always know there are surface causes, something. It might look that a pen comes from a shop, but we know the true, the deeper reason that a pen comes from sharing pens with others, sharing knowledge with others, helping people to connect and helping people to transfer their ideas as well. By the way, I haven't seen in our chat the word fear, because many people have this fear of speaking up, fear of talking and conveying their ideas. Who here has a fear of speaking to their friends, pals, colleagues, delivering a report to their boss? Yeah, fear has silenced many people with great ideas. And sometimes it can also prevent us from delivering a convincing message. But do we know the counter action? Do we know the antidote to fear of public speaking? Any ideas? Again, I know you know all these ideas. Sometimes we just do not, we are just unaware, cannot conceptualize them. Aha, and here I see an experienced speaker who knows something. Yeah, Kat and Ivy, that's true. Think of how to help audience. Think what the audience wants. If we circle back to my speech about modern art, modern culture, that was beautiful, but nobody could make a clue what it was about. It was for me to show off, right? I just wanted to speak with motivation to show everybody that I'm a cool speaker. I can pronounce complicated words. I can structure my sentences. I can create the logical flow and deliver it all very nicely with proper gestures, vocal variety, and pacing. But have I thought about what my audience wants? I can admit clearly here in this community of SIT practitioners that was not my motivation. And that what might be a reason for fearing public speaking, for sounding inconvincing, and for failing to be a competent, clear, and motivational speaker. So a good point, and one of the many points that you will get to know in level 8 about leadership, because there are several life tools specifically teaching us all how to be great speakers, how to create, deliver, and think about our messages in a way that is convincing, first for ourselves and then for the audience, no matter whether it is an audience of one person in the back seat of your car or the audience of a stadium. Mechanics is the same. So thinking how you can help your audience is one of the most essential, most foundational points in this. I think you get a little bit bored when I do not ask you questions. Am I right? It might happen. Yeah, I know. So now I would invite you, not ask, but invite you to think about the next occasion or the next instance when you need to speak to someone convincingly. Or maybe you have a small news report to deliver to your colleagues, or maybe you have some presentation for your business partners. Or, and this is the most difficult type of talks, maybe you need to make your child believe that eating so much sugar is harmful for their health. Or maybe you need to tell your partner that you have some plans, some amazing plans for vacation and want them to also be excited about it. So think about any situation, any speaking occasion, any speaking engagement you are going to have in the near future, so that you could take it as a practice, as an exercise, and work on it while we are speaking here today. It's always, have you heard Michael Roach speaking about one apple and two deers? Yeah? Yeah, I think if you visit different programs regularly, Michael Roach constantly reminds us that we should aim for completing several goals with one action. Just like we can feed two deers with one apple. So while we are here and while we are exploring the ways to speak more convincingly, to make our messages more convincing, let's practice and let's work a little bit on our specific cases of speaking. If you have already recollected, brought to mind this occasion, let's think how you can help your audience, no matter again whether it is only one person or several colleagues or a whole class of students or a whole company. What would be the best way to help them today with your speaking? What would be the best way? What would be the most important thing that they would need to hear? Так, Paylin suggests that we need to speak relevant to the audience, not speak our opinion. Yes, that sounds very reasonable. Because if you have never heard of the seed system, you would not make head or tail of the talk. Yeah? If someone is totally new and doesn't know some foundational tools of the seed system, they would need to catch up. They would need more explanations. They would need more support. Так, yes, I see. The audience need to feel credibility and confidence, trust. Yes, it is very, I wouldn't even say that it is very important. It is vital that people could trust someone talking to them. Otherwise, the message will not even scratch the surface. It will just fade away somewhere at a distance as a music, as a sound, it's just as a sound wave. Clearly, that people need to be trustworthy and to understand that this information and knowledge is valuable. What else could be the help to our listeners? Something practical, something inspirational, maybe something they can take away and act upon right now, try in their life. What is one of the favorite words of Michael Roach? Investigate and experiment. He often encourages us to investigate various topics and to carry out experiments with the information he shares with us. And that's exactly what we are going to do as we learn the DCI level 8, becoming genuine and convincing leaders. That's also a very important aspect of it. Так, I see that you would need some more time to think about how specifically to give your listeners what they want, to give them what they can benefit from, so that the knowledge, the teaching, the information you share is not just theory, but real help to their lives. Again, here today we are just giving you a little teaser of what awaits at DCI level 8, but even with this teaser, you can already go and practice it, because practical tools are quite clear. And one more of them is people can take your information better, and we as speakers can develop better credibility and better trust from the audience when we speak about something they can verify with their own experience, something that people can truly relate to. Because if we're speaking about some unclear, incomprehensible, complicated matters, then they are just lost in a couple of minutes. Так, and here I again would need some examples from you, please. I have my example with modern art talk, absolute failure. And if you are up for a good laugh, I can share one more. Because once I participated in a European contest of public speakers, and you know, there is a saying, failure of an experience. Failure of an experience. I don't know if I transfer the meaning correctly, but I will explain. For example, when a person drives a car for many years, they get used to the rules, they get used to driving, and their alertness lowers a little bit, and they might sometimes be not as vigilant as they should be. So they might overlook some road situations, or their reaction might be not as sharp as, again, it should be. And the same experience failure happened to me at this European Toastmasters contest, where I was competing in improvisation speeches. And the procedure is everybody listens to one speech, then they contestants go have 20 minutes to prepare, and they present their speech about the speech they have just heard. I hope that is clear. So after we heard the speech, everybody went to get ready, and I was, as I usually do, I was making notes of what I should say, what my points should be, and I said, and I was thinking, I say this, then I say this. No, I know how to say this. Here, everything is clear. Yeah, I'm good. I can just relax for several minutes. I have done it 100 times. And I just relaxed and just was calmly waiting for the judge to call me so that I could deliver my speech. And when they finally called me in half an hour or so, I went on stage. I started my speech. I said like 3 sentences, and then something terrible happened to me. It has never happened to me before, but we know there is always the first time for something. My brain just shut down. Like it just snapped somewhere, I don't know, into a parallel dimension. I have no idea what it was. I just couldn't understand where I was and what I was doing. And it lasted like, I don't know, 10 seconds maybe, but you know, when you are on stage, 10 seconds is an eternity. And then I remember my mind switched back on and started slowly to warm up to get me going back to my presentation, and I delivered the rest of my speech. Needless to say that I didn't got any awards, any places, and several people approached me afterwards and asked, "What happened? You started so nicely. You were so energetic and framing your ideas very smoothly. What happened? Why you just zoned out and stopped talking for a while? Has someone distracted you?" And I only could answer that it was my own carelessness and neglect to the drill, to the standard preparation procedures that I had to stick to. So here, when I'm telling this story, I have lived it, I have experienced it. That's why I can convey it convincingly. I remember this feeling. I can use, you do not just hear the words, you have this full 360 degrees experience. I'm expressing my emotions. You can see it and hear from different tones, from my face, from my expressions and gestures. So probably you would believe that I truly had this experience. Did you believe or not? Show of hands. Okay, I probably I have something to improve as well. Now, tell me, have you heard anything similar? Like you just got lost in a situation and don't know what was going on. Has it ever happened to you? Like you just disconnected from reality and without any obvious reasons, like what's going on? Yeah, I think that for totally different reasons and circumstances, it might have happened to any of us. Yeah, uh, because our shared experiences is a very solid ground for becoming trustworthy, for sharing ideas, and for convincing, for sounding more convincing to others. And when we do this, when we share ideas that we have lived through, when we share ideas that others can relate to and also connect to our experience and say, oh, I've been there, I've done that. Yeah, I know all, I feel the same. We are all in the same boat. Then chances are much higher than people would listen, and not just listen. The point is to not just tell them something. The point is to convince them that this thing, I have got 3 of them today, this thing works the way that seed system teaches us, not the way that I go and buy pens, or not the way that I go and take pens from someone else, but by sharing, by doing simple actions to get incredible results. Summing up, have you got any ideas of which action you could do today to sound more convincing, so that your message is more convincing than it was yesterday or a week ago? Not just work on the formal causes, know your stuff, know your topic, speak clearly. Probably if I was speaking a lot, you could, right? So speak clearly so that people could hear you. Speak with a reasonable pace, intonation, and voice. Look professionally and think how your words can benefit people you're talking to. Speak meaningfully in a way to help another. Yes, I have been wondering how many people have been to Japan. Have you ever been to Japan? If so, raise your hands. Everything, it's not very far. It seems like far away, but it's closer than it might seem. And have you noticed that in Japan, things are quieter than in many other countries of the world? It is not as noisy as it is, for example, in I don't know, in Turkey. Of course, the top busiest squares in Tokyo are also noisy, but in other, yeah, Italy, right. And do you know why people are not as talkative in Japan as they are in Italy, for example? Because in Japan, people used to believe, and people came to believe and still believe it, that a word, a combination of sounds and meaning, a word is physical. It is not just some wave that disappears and doesn't influence people visually, so that we could see this influence. It's rather a physical object, and people's mental stream is also in a way physical. So they try not to disturb mental quietude, mental stream with words. And I would say they are quite successful in it. So I think it goes to the idea that when we want to be convincing and use formal elements to surface elements to be convincing, we eventually and inevitably come to deeper elements, which is think about the need of your audience. What would these people benefit most today? How I can speak meaningfully in a good way, not to just produce sound, speaking about modern art like I did years back. But how would these words might be the same, our intention and our motivation and our choice of ideas to convey and words to use would make a huge difference. And of course, speak from your own experience. This is one of the 3 milestones of a convincing speech. And of course, let me remind you that DCI level 8 will open your eyes and even be a great breakthrough for us all in becoming better leaders and better speakers. I have already done DCI level 8 3 times, 2 times as a teacher and once as a student teacher trainee. And I will still again go and enroll to this new DCI in Singapore because I'm 1,000,000% sure by now already, having visited and learned many programs by Michael Roach, that every time there are more hidden gems. Every time, even if we have already read all these manuals dozen times, have done many homeworks, passed exams, still every time there is a new diamond or a huge bunch of diamonds about wisdom, about becoming better speaker, better leader, and in a long run, contributing to creating a better world, I think. Zlatina, what do you think about this all? We have been to DCI level 8 together and studied it together and practicing it since these times. So what would you like to share with our participants today from these 364 pages of practical, ancient, but very much modern life applicable wisdom?
Hello, everyone. I'm really happy to be with you today. And thank you very much, Marina, for this wonderful, very convincing, I believe, speech that you shared with us. I'm really happy to be able to speak in front of you today and to be able to speak of a level and a system that I myself practice, a system that I admire, and a teacher who I find very inspiring and convincing. All of you, if you already have been to some of his levels or lectures or just small free sessions of Geshe Michael, you have seen his way of teaching and his way of giving knowledge and information. So I am sure you, if you are participating in this marathon 1 month, which is a great present to all of us, you must felt already what Marina told us, that of course, when we speak, we have to know the content. We have to think about how we speak. We have to speak with intention. But Geshe Michael always says that there are deeper reasons. And for him to be able to speak in front of so many people all around the world, so many years and keep going to new countries, to new audience, that means that people really want to listen to him. And to not only listen, but to take what he has as information and put it into practice. And in DCI level 8, which is about to come in Singapore in July, this is what he and his fellow other professors will teach you, how to be a person who is speaking, but not only speaking, how to lead people and lead them to a better place, because maybe some of you know that the deepest and ultimate goal of this system is to make everybody feel that they live in a better place. Of course, we want to reach financial independence. We want to have beautiful relationships. We want to have calm mind and be healthy. But our best purpose in life is to bring other people to a better place, which we can do when we speak, and which we can do with our own examples as teachers, as leaders. Yes, I see. Yes, our goal, 5 goals in life. And I really want to start my part of today's session with just telling you that if you are participating in this marathon, uh, consider your participation also in the level in July, because Geshe Michael coming to your country live is a great opportunity. I think it's a wonderful chance to not only meet your teacher, but be there and see how he, in real life, teaches and puts into practice what we have read in the Diamond Cutter or in other books, Seeds Management. So this is a very good opportunity. People in Bulgaria have seen him live like 12 or 11 years ago, and it was a wonderful experience. So rejoice that he's coming to your country, and organize your own schedule so you could participate. I think you won't regret, you will only be happy that you went deeper in that great knowledge. I will share now my PPT, and I will once again would like to thank Marina, because she really, in a really good way, explained that yes, there are things that we can think about: how we look, how we sound, what we talk about, but it's really, really important to also think, as she mentioned last in her session, about our audience and about us being true and relevant to them. This is something that everybody from our audience today, all teachers, future teacher trainees, all people who are just right now knowing about Geshe Michael, can think of themselves: how can I be more relevant in what I do in my everyday surrounding? And I will start my presentation by giving you some more information about me, not just so you read it and say, okay, she is a professional because this, and that. I live in Bulgaria, which I already said, which is a small European country. And I also organize DCI levels of Geshe Michael online. And the publishing house that I work in is also translating and selling his books in Bulgaria. Apart of that, in my personal life, I am a wife and I'm a mom of 2 kids. So with this information being said, maybe you had some idea of who am I. But if I say like this, okay, I work in a publishing house where we translate and sell books like biographies of Robin Williams, the actor, or Michael Jordan, the basketball player, or Tina Turner, the singer, and Geshe Michael, the world-known lecturer, leader, and businessman. Maybe I will touch something that you can think of. Okay, I know these people. I know some of those names. So I feel more connected to what she has to say already. What about if you are not interested in books? Then I can tell you, but I'm interested in the DCI system. And this is me, like a DCI G teacher trainee student in the SEM college, listening to lectures and trying to remember what Geshe Michael is teaching us while my family is having dinner in the other room. So right now, maybe you think, okay, I have another thing in common. She has been to SEIM and is super into all the lectures, all the meditations. She doesn't even have time to go grab a fast dinner. And Marina told us that she has kids. For example, let's say Marina is not interested in books. Marina hasn't been ever to SEIM, but Marina has kids. So I show a picture of me and I said, I feel you, Marina. I know how difficult it is to raise kids and to juggle with all this stuff, work, family, kids. So right now, I saw Marina sending some uh, emojis. Maybe Marina felt a bit more seen. And she said, okay, I know this too. If she has kids and she raises them, she must have been passing through the same thing that I have been. So I already feel a bit more connected to her as a presenter. And about my country, because few people know where Bulgaria actually is, I can tell you, maybe you like yogurt and like to eat your breakfast with yogurt. My country is very well known for the yogurt, which is also known in Asia. But maybe you don't. So I say, okay, so you like roses. And with roses, rose oil, rose perfume, eau de cologne, I still touch something in you that you maybe like. Let's say you don't like yogurt, you don't use rose oil perfumes, but you definitely know about Geshe Michael. So I can put a picture here from Geshe Michael's lecture in Bulgaria like more than 10 years ago. And I can say, I just like you want to go to Geshe Michael's events. And I, just like you, want to make more people know about Geshe Michael. And Geshe Michael has been in Bulgaria, just like he will be in Singapore. So right now, maybe you know not just more about me as a presenter, but more about my country and my interests. And with that said, in the beginning, I told you that I don't want you to just say, okay, Złatina, I know this, and that about her. I want you to feel connected to what I want to say, because the first of the three milestones, Marina already mentioned them. The first from the three milestones is that we speak from our own experience that is relevant to other people life. Because right now I can tell you that I have studied literature and I have written poetry and I have been to some reading classical literature clubs in Bulgaria. But maybe this is not totally concerning you. So if I speak in front of you about leadership with the DCI system, I must be relevant to your needs. And as a speaker, Marina already ask you to think about some event or some presentation that you are about to hold, or some conversation with your family that you want to lead and to be convincing. In our everyday situation, we can give such small examples that can make people feel more comfortable, because we all know that whenever even Geshe Michael has this story that, for example, when we have to say a story, that we need the person to think of the same story in his head. Let's say I ate a perfectly yellow banana, and I know that maybe on the market next to your house there is also fruit market, and I have to explain the banana I ate like perfectly yellow, not a scratch. And whenever you think, oh, I have those same bananas in the market next to me, you are already more close to me as a listener, as a student, and as somebody who is willing to be led by this woman who knows the yellow bananas. So when we speak to the other people, we just not Marina very good said that we are not somebody who wants to show off. Oh, I ate orange banana or I ate blue banana. We want to be close to our people, and whenever we have convinced them that they can really believe what we say and really know that they can trust us as a speaker, then we can proceed with telling them even more and deeper information. Not just start with the, as Marina said, the art or my poetry, because this is how you lose people, and people won't be willing to listen to you. So we already said about the 5 goals of DCI. So maybe Kat has another goal that she wants to put into perfection right now. Dorothy has another goal that she wants to put into perfection right now. But Pei Ling has another goal that she wants to develop better in her life. We need to really feel what people's needs are. And Geshe Michael, I also like what he says that even when he goes on stage, of course, he has the material prepared in advance. He has what he wants to say, like the content, because Marina and I also prepared content for you today to share. But he is always ready to change the content based on who is listening to him. So if I'm ready to be speaking about financial independence, and in front of me I see only young mothers who are struggling in life, how to, just grab a meal and wash their hairs, of course that I need to drop the financial topic and to speak to them in another way. So yes, they may in the end made a conclusion how to make more money in their free time, if that was the topic. But in the beginning, I don't just tell them that, oh, you need financial independence, you need to be planting seeds or working hard, etc. So the next time, you can write right now, what is the next time that you're going to talk in front of some people? Maybe this is some meeting in the office that you have to present something, or maybe this is a talk to your husband or wife or boyfriend, girlfriend, to convince him or her where to go to your next vacation. This is also something that we want to work on. Please write in the chat in what situations you need to be convincing whenever you speak to other people. I see Marina wrote that tonight she will talk about how to understand people better to a small group. Okay, great. Thank you, Marina. So you have the seats already to be on this session, not only as a speaker, but as a listener today. So I'm sure you will develop more ideas of how to be more informed about your meeting. And you know what is very interesting? In this level 8, many people, whenever we were broadcasting the commercials and the advertising about leaderships, automatic leadership in Bulgaria, there were some people who were saying, oh no, I'm not a leader. I don't want to be a leader. This level is not about me. But Geshe Michael and his team, and also I as an organizer, can confirm that we are all somewhat leaders. We need those leader skillship to just go in life and be heard, be seen, because it's not just leaders to own a company and say, you go there, you do this. Leadership skills is to be able to talk to one person and for him to ask you for an advice, and you to say something that he would say, wow, that's a great advice. I will really use it. It was so convincing. So don't just think that you have to be a business person or a business owner to go to this level. You just need to realize that even, like Geshe Michael is saying, even at our dinner table, we are already hosting a lecture. So every night that we are having dinner with our families, we are actually speaking, we are actually leading and convincing people. So even for our friends, for our family, for our kids, as Marina said, we are already somebody who they tend to listen and tend to think, is she convincing or is she not? Kat is writing also, so into school board position and sharing vision for education in our own town. Thank you very much, Kat. Education is a topic that I myself find very, very important. And I think it's super important for all towns around the world because with what we educate the new generations, of course, we know that we plant the seeds for our own and theirs future. So once again, we can take this knowledge from today and share it to whatever our session will be. Doesn't matter if it's online or offline, still it's the same. So this is the first one. You can write it down or you can just remember. I'm going to talk about a bit more about it because today it's just, as Marina said, a short introduction to the level. It's a teaser, but just so you know, in the level that are more and deeper explanation of all the information that we are sharing with you. So the other two milestones that we need to have to be convincing. The second is that the person we are willing to convince with our message, he has to be able to find logic in what we are trying to say. Geshe Michael usually says, if I show you this pen and I just put it behind me, there just by your logic, because you see me put it behind me, you can say the pen is behind you. And whenever we speak, because we need the message to be convincing, we need to lead people. As my daughter, for example, she's doing these labyrinths all the time, like an exercise at home. This person who is speaking here, maybe he started with a good intention, with a very great examples, but somewhere in the middle, as Marina said with her personal example, he lost himself. And the audience, they can also feel whenever we lose ourselves or something, we try to explain it very well, loses its logic. So the second thing I just mentioned it, just so you know, but keep in mind that this will be taught to you on the level during July. Logic, people have to be able to see logic in what we say and to know that the pen is behind our back. And the third thing that we need to develop as a milestone is whenever we speak, it's very good if we have some resources that we can say that we are relying on. Like Geshe Michael is sometimes saying in a funny way, I read that on internet. And he's even saying that we should also do this whenever we present, say from where this information is, or know that our audience has people, friends, or like speakers they believe and that they trust. So if we speak and say, what I just told you has been an information written in the ancient books of Asia from thousands of years ago, maybe you already feel a bit more okay with receiving that information. And if I tell you that, for example, I read that people remember, let's say, 10% from what they hear, but they remember 20% from what they see, and I read it on the internet in one research, then maybe me presenting with those visuals will be another way for you to understand why I do it. Because I have the data that gives me the motivation to show you pictures. So the next time you present, like for example, Marina and Kat, you can think of another source that you're relying on and just mention it, because people are always willing to know more. Okay, and another thing that I would like to tell you is a personal story of me when I was invited to speak in the national TV about one of the books that we have published, Einstein's biography. When personally, I have to admit that I knew basically nothing about Einstein before I was invited there. And I had to read very fast the biography to present it, because none of my colleagues was actually able to go and be in the studios. We have better people who are better prepared, but it was me that day. And I said, okay, I'm definitely not somebody who understands physics. I'm not somebody who can perfectly describe what Einstein says in his theories. So how do I be convincing? How do I let people know that what I want them to say is really important? And I decided to do another thing. I said, what is something that I can speak of and it can be relevant both to me and to my audience? And I read his days from his childhood when he was struggling at school, what was his days in teenage years, how he had several wives, and what letters he wrote to them. And what I did was I was speaking about what I find interesting myself and what I know that more people will find interesting. So this is me in the studio. And next to me actually is a physician guy. So apparently I don't need to be a physician to be understood as convincing. I spoke of my heart, as somebody wrote in the chat, and I spoke as with information who I think that more people watching this morning show will be interested in about. So I don't think that, like, if let's say 1,000 people are watching something, 1,000 people are physics interested. Maybe they have their teenage years that they wrote some love letters, or maybe they also struggle in school and with the ABC or maths. So this is something that I did. And I find it very useful that I thought to speak about it, because the result was that after this host TV studio, I was so stressed about speaking there. And actually many people called us and wanted to buy the book only because they want to learn more about Einstein. And with that said, don't forget that whenever we speak with relevant examples, people believe us, and people really say, okay, this is somebody that I trust, because she's not pretending to be somebody else. Of course, maybe I could learn the theories and start talking about them, but first, this wouldn't be me. And second, I'm sure that people would feel that it's not something that I really like to talk about. Later, the physics guy, he was absolutely prepared. He was super professional. I myself didn't understand the word he said. So that was another fact that I myself did good for choosing not to go the other way. Another example of Geshe Michael and why people always say on our levels. I like when Geshe Michael is speaking. He's so full of his stories. He's presenting in so good way. How comes that it happens like this? If you have just see some of his lectures, you maybe know that he's always saying personal stories, but not some random abstract personal stories that, let's say, he managed to just do a super big company with $1 million every month. He's speaking how he traveled on the bus to his job. So people somehow go into his shoes and stand next to him in this bus. So they can feel that, of course, he's a teacher, he's a speaker, he's a super successful person, but he's still somebody that is not that different from me. And I myself personally like a story that he says very often about the car, and how he's, of course, trying to be always gentle, always loving about other people's, talking with them and answering their questions. And if you have been to the level of anger, why anger is something that we should just try to not do in our life. People are saying, but okay, is it really possible to be not angry all the time? And there comes Geshe Michael with his car story, and he says, of course, I myself sometimes tend to be nervous because of all the other drivers on the way. And maybe I say one or two not very good words. And this immediately gives you the idea of, okay, Geshe Michael is another living being that is not um, teaching me something impossible, because he's also having some um, moments in his everyday life that I myself am having as somebody who is driving the car to work, and who is finding it difficult to cope with people who are not so okay in driving. So the next time you present, just please think of something that can make you feel, that can make your audience feel closer to you. Of course, we all love perfect examples. Of course, we like people who are successful. But if you think about it, many of the people who are successful because they had some difficulties all the way long. And for me, as a listener, because I'm not only somebody who speaks in front of audience, I'm more of a listener very often. I like to go to lectures to people who can tell me what their struggles in life were, and how they coped with them, and how they survived them. So personal example, of course, is very needed, but not only some, I'm Zuatina and I'm a great speaker and I'm hosting events and etc. I'm Zuatina and I'm speaking, and even I have to prepare myself and not be stressed because of the new audience that I'm presenting in front of. And as a DCI organizer, I myself also try to think of new strategies to reach new people, uh, to reach new market areas. So if you want to write it down, and just be open just be open to be seen as who you really are, because this is what makes you really close to people. I don't know how it is with you, but whenever I go to some business forum, or I just listen to a podcast online, it's not the people. Great, thank you, Kat. It's not the people who just speak wise and speak like super professional that inspire me. It's the people who I can say that, oh, okay, he's successful, but if he has done that and he managed to pass this and that situation, that maybe I myself can also do it, because he's not that different of me. And here I want to share a story that last year I was invited to present for the first time live in a very big hall, which for me was, let's say, something very new, because of course I have led many online sessions, but when you go to a live big hall for maybe 500 people, this is another level of um, your perception of how the knowledge you have can go to the people, because you feel them, you see them live, and you can actually see their life emotions and how they absorb what you want to say. And I was very stressed because me and two other guys, we were the youngest people there. And the other people, they had some already great experience in business, or they had many interesting things to share. For example, one of the women, she went to Mount Everest base camp, or some interesting stories that she was able to inspire other people. And I didn't know how to start my presentation. Actually, I had to present another information about the seat system, about how to speak gentle words, kind words, about why it's important to speak the truth. And I decided, okay, maybe I'm the younger there, but still I'm somebody that can share his own experience so far, and maybe people will want to listen to me, because we know that it's the deeper cause. It's not that I have to be 80 years old for somebody to listen to me. It's not from how old we are or how good looking we are. It's from what we say, with what intention, and with how we make people feel while we are talking. And here, if my PPT is on my side today, you can see the hall and the other presenters. So this is our team in the rehearsal session. The two boys, me and all the other people, we are rehearsing the day before. We are doing the PPT sharing so we can see if all of this works. And for me, very interesting was that even though we were all speaking on totally different topics, from different backgrounds, from different experiences, all of the speakers were speaking of their childhood as like first, second, third slide, because they were saying, when I was a kid, let's say my own example was, I was living in the bookstore of my mom, which was which was one of the rooms in my home. It was a bookstore. So I was telling this. Another person said, when I was little, I wanted to be a salesman, and then I became a salesman. So you touch childhood, just for the example, and you activate all of the people in the audience, because everybody was in their past a child, and they have their own memories of childhood. So they are really connected to you once you start speaking. And there was this guy here in the back with the hand like this in the air. He was a salesman. And back then I didn't even had any tiny interest in sales. And I was like, okay, I'm going to just relax during his lecture. Not that it's quite something that I want to hear about, because he was last and we were already very tired. And I really admit that I was not that good listener back then. But what he did was amazing, because he wanted the audience to clap for himself, and we were all clapping in the beginning, and we didn't know why is that happening. Then he just said some random story from his personal life with his wife and with his children, and then he somehow put this in connection with sales. And I was already seeing this great logical flow that he is doing. And I was activated because of the clapping. I was activated because of the kids' story, because I also have kids. And he was assuming that many people in the room have also partners, if not kids. So he activated us in very interesting steps with being relevant. And then after that, he said, okay, so you already did the clapping once, but now I will make you clap one more time, because you understood why clapping is important. So with that said, he activated us with relevant examples and with creativity. So, of course, creativity is just some conventional method, but if we succeed in trying to do these 3 milestones that I mentioned, 2 of them just shortly and this one briefly, if we try to speak relevant to other people, and if we be logical about what we say, like what he did with the 3-4 steps that he was speaking. And if we say, and later he said, oh, you are wondering from where I know all of this? And he put a slide with all his teachers and all his great leaders that he was learning from. And for an instant, I thought, who cares? Who cares that you have 30 teachers to rely on? But after that, I knew some of the names of those people. And just because I knew the names, I thought, oh my God, this person is somebody who I really want to listen to, because he knows that lady that I have studied also some parenting advice. And he has this sales manager that I know on the book market is a great selling book. So just try to think of sources that can make your presentation even more convincing. And another thing, like for going to an end, which is a seed that you can just start planting from today, because we with Marina made you think of situations that you need to be more convincing, but you to have something that you can do right away with preparing your, let's say, um, next speech for the education in your town, or to present in the small group when you need to share something, or even when I myself need to convince my child why it's important to go to kindergarten properly dressed, etc. We have to put our antennas on, as Geshe Michael says, and to be more attentive to others people's needs. So for the next, let's say, 1 or 2, 3 days, just try to be a bit more thinking of what other people need, like audience, like listeners, like just normal needs. Even when you enter a room, live room, and you see some people there that you know, your friends, your family. If you know that somebody hasn't had a glass of water for the whole day, try to offer him this glass of water even before he or she wants it. Because whenever we think of the needs of other people, of course, best if it's our audience in front of who we speak. But if we tend to give other people what they want in advance of them asking, as in the speaking in front of audience, this is a great, let's say, investment and seed that we plan for us to be convincing later when we speak, let's say, in front of the people here from the marathon. And last but not least, I would like to ask you to take a look in these 2 images with 2 different speakers, and think who you would like to be more like. So the left one is the one who is the more abstract, who is the show off, who is the talking about very difficult ideas, and doesn't care of what his audience gets from his lecture. He got paid or he got invited. He just goes and bursts into what he thinks is interesting. And the other one, he is, even in his look, he looks as if he needs to fulfill other people's needs. He's more caring, he's more wanting to share what is important not only for him, but also for his audience. So I myself would like to be as the second one, I believe also you. And thank you for being today here with us. I really hope that you'll be able to see Geshe Michael live because Marina and I, we are just speaking from what we have been taught by Geshe Michael and his team. And we are, of course, trying to practice, and we practice. But if you have the chance, go listen to them live on level 8 in July, because this is a wonderful opportunity. And if you have Geshe Michael live in your own country, this means that you have great seats. So I just thank you for being with us today. And thank you for Marina. Thank you, Marina, and thank you everybody else who was listening. Don't miss this opportunity. Go to level 8, automatic leadership, because we are all leaders every day on every step, even if we don't recognize it. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you for both teachers sharing, and I'm really glad that what I remember from both teachers. Like one is that Gershon Michael, even you hear him for a lot of times, you still have hidden gems, which means we still have something to dig out after many things that he uh, uh after hearing him from like many times. Yeah. So that's the first part. I feel that is so valuable that even if you go to many times, maybe you have attended to level 8 before, but this time you will still have some gems that you may find out from that. All right. And from teacher Latina, yeah, we are all leaders in different aspects in our life, maybe in your career, maybe in your family. So you want your kids to listen to you, and therefore you need to make your message convincing. Yeah. So thanks for the teaching from both teachers, and thanks to all the audience here. And now I want to invite all of you here to on your camera so that we have a big picture together. Yeah, I have seen someone just came in. Yeah. So please on your camera so that we have a group photo together to capture this moment before we really get into Gershon Michael's class. Maybe we do level 8. Level 8, like that.
Okay, everyone get ready. I will take a picture. 1, 2, 3. Okay, 1 minute. Let me double check.
Any more videos on? Any more last call? Okay.
Okay, all good. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Jing. All right. So after sharing, now is what? Like those regular attenders, y'all should know what's the next. Is the Q&A session. So yeah, so if do you have any question from their sharing, or if you have any question that you want to ask, maybe from level 8, or maybe from your life, any problems you are facing, you want to ask the two teachers how they apply the life tools in their life. Is there any? I'm calling questioners.
Oh, I have a question.
Yes, please.
Please, can you share with me the seeds that I need to plant to walk into an audience and be able to read them quickly so that I can know how to talk to them and fill their needs?
Sure. That's an excellent question for any speaker, because an ability to read the audience quickly is a precious asset for all of us. And my take on this would be, well, I have two ideas. First, when I communicate to other people, I try to avoid any ambiguity. I hope this is the correct word. I try to avoid any double meanings or any subtext, and I try to myself be as clear as possible and do not mislead other people's. Yeah, not to be mysterious, absolutely. Yeah, so that it is easy to follow my words or my actions. And a second idea, of course, it has to do with being honest, not just being honest with other people. First, being honest with myself, because we try to do good things to other people, forgetting that there is also one more person who is recording all the actions 24/7 without any breaks and without any vacations. So that would be my advice, to be clear and specific and non-ambiguous in my messages and behavior, and to be true to others, honest with others and with myself. And it will help, well, it definitely helps me at times to see how other people are feeling. One more thing that always is a clue to many challenges is simple but very difficult kindness as well. When we are kind not to just everybody else, but to ourselves, and read what we want and what we truly feel, and allow ourselves to give ourselves permission, like I permit myself to feel sad, or I permit myself to not succeed. I permit myself to not be an excellent, perfect being today. I'm on my way, but not there yet. So it helps me now and then, and I hope it will also help you in the case of need.
If
Thank
you
you for the
allow me, I would
question.
like to add something as well. Thank you, Marina, and thank you, Kat. This is very much needed for all of us as a skill. So I just remember the phrase that Geshe Michael has said many years ago, that translators are the people who do the let's say, most important job with translating knowledge. When doesn't matter if it's on levels. Marina herself, she's also translating, as I know, on some DCI levels. I myself am translating. Maybe some of you also do translating jobs, which is great seeds. And why do I say this? Because it's very difficult in nowadays to understand what people want. How was it in the question of Kat? How do we know what people want? So if we try to be translators for other people's needs, this is also, I think, a very good seed or a very good technique. Because let's say my husband, he doesn't always understand what our kids want. And it's me who is the mother who understands all the blah blah baby language, or the hysterical needs during dinner. So I just tell him she wants water, or she wants to be cuddled. And with this, by translating to him what my kids need, I make it easy for him to catch their needs. And if we help other people to catch other needs whenever it's possible for us, if we become those translators, I think this is also a very good seed, not only with kids, but sometimes maybe we are more, we have more empathy, and somebody just wants to be alone, and our friend tells, let me help you, let me give you advice, but the other person doesn't want that at all. And if we just say, leave him for 5 minutes, then we planted a very good seed for our friend to be uh, left with what he needs in the moment, and for the other friend to just know better of other person needs. So I think this will be also something that you can use.
Okay, does it help you? Is that okay with you, Kate? I know that you are doing a lot of catch-up courses, and you are planting a lot of good seeds as well. So thank you for doing all these courses as well. Yeah. So yes, correct. Okay, yeah. So any more questions? Calling for questions. So is the content very clear to you? Or is the live tools experience very clear to you that you have no questions? Is there any questions coming out? Well, seems like everyone understand your well. Everyone knows that like they learn from your experience and they have no doubt about it. So yeah, great. So thank you for sharing, both teachers, teacher Marina and teacher Latina, and thanks for all the audience here. Yeah, I'm so grateful to have all of you here, and hope that our session is still continuing until 30th of June. Yes, like what I mentioned just now. Yeah. So we still have a few more sessions. Yes, Kat, you want to say something, please?
Oh, I just looked at my notes and heard mentioned twice about 3 milestones, and I only captured two. Speak from our own experience is number one. Two, we need to feel what people's needs are. What was the third one? Did I catch the first two correctly?
Sure. Let's double check. Speak from your there are speak from your own experience, which people can relate to, so that they can check what we are talking about with their direct experience. Second, stick to clear logic. Stick to clear logic so that the way of your thought is not very tangled and confusing. And third, use reliable, verified sources, authentic sources that could support your message. These are the 3 milestones, and you have caught the idea. Speak taking the need of your audience. Tell your audience what they really need to hear, what they can benefit from. This is also an important milestone from a different group of reasons. We have mentioned several of them, not to ruin all the fun when we all are going to learn DCI level 8, but definitely these 4 points are valid and valuable reasons of being a convincing speaker.
Cool. Okay. Yeah, cool. Yeah, I have seen a few gratefuls, and please express your gratitude into the chat box to let our teachers also coffee meditate. Okay. All right. Any more questions? If there's no more questions, we may end here. So our sessions, our marathon is still running until 30th of June, until Gershon Michael, grandpa, is coming to Singapore. So please feel free to either join online or in person. And that's all for today. I will call it as an end. Yeah.